In this video, I'm going to navigate around Power BI Desktop in a little bit more detail. Now, if you haven't already downloaded your free version, you can see how to do this in the first video in this series, and I'll put the link for that in the description below. So I'm using the same sample report from Power BI here as I did in the first video, but really I just want to get a little bit more familiar about navigating around it and what to expect. Now, if you're familiar with Microsoft products, this is fairly similar to Excel and Word in that you've got these different ribbons at the top and different functionality that you get in each one. But let's start with the report page first, which is what we're on. So you obviously have the main report page here, which is where your visualizations and any text will be based. And at the bottom you can click on the plus to add a new reports page in. And then to the right of that, you've got this interactive filters area. And this is really configurable for you so that you can allow people to see certain things or to not see them. So if you wanted to lock all the functionality down, you can actually click on this so that it hides the filters for your end users. Or you might want them to see some of the filters. So you might want them to see this one, sorry, not see that one, but see month, but not see the segment. And that would stop them from being able to filter it and to see these particular filters. So it's really powerful and highly configurable. You can add filters on this page only. You can also add filters on all the pages, and this is really powerful because it means that if you have a filter you want to add across the whole report, you don't have to put it on each of these in this section. The next part is visualizations. So these are all the visualizations that you get as standard. However, you can also import from the marketplace. So on the Power BI website, there's a custom visual section, which is constantly evolving and developing as third-party businesses are developing apps that can these custom visuals to go into this section. So again, that's really powerful, and there's lots of really amazing tools out there that you can add to. In this section below is where you would, so for example, if I click on this visualization, it will show you the fields that are being used within that visualization. So you can put them in here. So depending on the type of visualization will depend on what options are available. And you also get a formatting section in here where you can format what's on the x-axis, the y-axis, all the colors, the size, etc. This third section will really depend on the visualization that you use as to what's available. So here you can have a constant line, which is quite good for benchmarking, and you can set your minimum and maximum, your averages, all that kind of thing. And there are different pieces of functionality that you've got within those. And then this final section here is around the fields. So these are all the tables that are available to query on, and within those you can see the different fields that you have access to. So that is this section here. So now we're going to go on to the data section, and this shows you, for all of those tables that we've got access to, it's showing you essentially the raw data behind them. Now you might notice that some of the columns are greyed out, and that's because as a developer you can actually again configure what the end user can see. So if I unhide this, you will see that it's now not this grey colour, it's actually the same colour as the other tables, and so that will then be available for the end user to see. But you can also right click it and put it back again, so that hides it. You can also filter like you would in Excel. So if I just click on this drop down, it gives me all the different options that are available, so very similar to Excel. And then you can also edit the queries. So if I go to edit queries up here, you can then go to the specific steps that are involved within each one. Because I don't have permission for this particular sample, it's just given me this message here, but usually if I create mine from scratch it would be fine. And then you can see all the steps that have been applied, so where you've got the source from, what you've renamed fields to. If you want to take these steps out you can. So this is very similar to Power Query and is just really incredibly powerful. So I'm going to close that now. And then the final section is for modelling, and this is the real kind of like back end of what's going on now. And so this is a brilliant way into understanding how to join data sets together. So if you are familiar with VLOOKUPs, this is similar to that. So it's a simple join of data together between two data sets, and it's a great way in to learn the concept of joins prior to maybe learning something like SQL. So I really highly recommend Power BI for this, because it's that visual side of getting data to kind of work together. So you can manage the relationships in a different way, and I'll go through this in more detail in another video, but this is all the active relationships that exist between our data sets, and you can edit those from here and then change them accordingly. You can also go up to get data. So if I click on that, these are all the most common places you can get data from. So SQL and Excel, pre-existing Power BI data sets. You can get data from the web, which is great, and there's a whole lot more. And once you've got all of those things set up, you've done all the hard work. So if that data changes, you can click on refresh, and all of your data will refresh in the background, and then it will update your reports accordingly. So I hope you can see how powerful this is. If you'd like to see more of this content, hit subscribe and click on the bell icon for notifications.